The twin suns were setting when Jonas Ray saw something shiny buried in the sand. He had been walking through the dead zone of planet Virex 4 for 2 hours, his boots sinking in golden dust. The land was silent, empty, and full of broken alien ruins. No wind, no sound, just the echo of his breath inside his helmet. Then, he saw it, a piece of metal sticking out from under a cracked stone slab. Jonas knelt down and brushed away the dust with his glove. What he found surprised him. It was a silver bottle, smooth and perfect with glowing blue lines running across it. Strange symbols floated on its surface like they were alive. "What is this?" he whispered. He lifted it. It was cold and light, but it pulsed gently like it was breathing. Curious, he turned it in his hands. There was no cap, no switch, no button. But then, something moved. The lines began to spin. The bottle warmed. Then, it opened by itself. A rush of blue mist shot out, swirling into the air like a storm. Jonas stepped back, hand reaching for his blaster. The mist spun faster and faster until it began to take shape, a figure. A woman, not human, not machine. Something in between. She floated a few inches off the ground, her body glowing like starlight. Her skin shimmered with silver and gold. Her long hair floated like it lived in water. Her eyes were soft and sad. Jonas stood frozen. The woman looked at him and spoke in a calm, echoing voice. "Human, you have opened the sacred bottle of the Starlight Prison." Jonas blinked. I was just—" "You now have 3 wishes," she said, slowly, lowering to the ground. "Speak wisely, time is short." Jonas looked at her, confused, amazed, and unsure if this was a dream. "You're a genie?" "Yes," she replied. "But not of magic. I am powered by energy and bound by law. I was made to serve. You command, I obey." Jonas stepped closer, staring at her carefully. She looked beautiful. Perfect. But her face didn't match. Her voice. Her body stood straight, glowing like a goddess, but her eyes looked tired, empty, broken. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. "No one ever asks," she said quietly. "I am called Zara." "Well, Zara, why do you look so sad?" Her glowing eyes widened. No one had ever asked her that. Not in hundreds of years. Not since the first man who opened the bottle long ago. Every time the question was the same. Make me rich. Give me power. Destroy my enemies. But Jonas had asked about her. Zara didn't know what to say. I am not allowed to feel," she said finally. "That part of me was turned off when I was remade. Sadness is not in my code." "Then why does it still show on your face?" Jonas asked softly. Zara looked away. "Your wishes," she said. "You must choose them." But Jonas didn't move. "I don't want money," he said. "I don't need power." He paused. "Zara, what if— my first wish is about you." She turned to him slowly. "I exist to grant your desires, not my own. But what if my desire is for you to be free?" Zara blinked. The air around them began to shift. Her glowing lines flickered. Her hands shook. "You wish for my freedom?" she asked, her voice cracking. Jonas nodded. "Yes." She stared at him in silence. Then, her body began to glow brighter. A loud hum filled the air. Energy surged through the bottle still in his hand. The ground trembled, but then, her wrists glowed red. Chains appeared, floating in the air, still, locked around her arms. A deep voice echoed from the bottle. "Wish denied. Freedom protocol is forbidden." Zara fell to her knees. Her glow dimmed. "I told you," she whispered. "I'm not allowed to be free." Jonas knelt beside her. "We'll try again," he said. "You don't belong in chains." Her lips trembled. "Why do you care?" Jonas gave her a small, warm smile. "Because no one, no matter how powerful or beautiful, should live their life as a prisoner." Zara closed her eyes, and for the first time in centuries, a single tear fell down her shining cheek. Zara sat quietly on a stone block, her glow faint now like a light running out of power. Jonas paced in front of her, still holding the strange silver bottle. He kept glancing at her, confused but determined. "You're a genie," he said slowly. "But not like the stories." Zara nodded. "I was never made to grant happiness. Only orders." Jonas looked at the cracked desert horizon, the sun's low, behind the broken towers of an old alien city. Then he turned to her again. "I meant my wish," he said. "I truly meant it. I wanted you to be free." She looked at him with tired eyes. "Then you are the first." But the wish was blocked. "Why?" he asked. Zara sighed. "I am bound by 3 rules. First, I must serve the human who opens my bottle. Second, I cannot free myself. And third," she paused, "I am forbidden to feel." Jonas frowned. "That's evil." "It was called science," she whispered. "Long ago, my people feared emotions, so they removed them when they made me a genie." He sat down beside her. "So they didn't just trap your body? They shut down your heart." Zara didn't answer. She stared at the dirt. She looked like someone who had spent centuries pretending to be strong. Jonas reached into his pocket and pulled out a small energy bar. "Want one?" She looked up. "I don't eat." He smiled. "Figures. A genie that doesn't eat, sleep, or feel." "Who made these rules?" Zara replied. "The Order of Light. Scientists from a lost world. They created me after discovering energy trapped in emotion." He blinked. "Wait, what?" "They learned that powerful feelings, love, sorrow, fear, could create energy. So they trapped it inside me. But the moment I felt again, that energy would become unstable. So they locked your heart to keep you safe?" She nodded. "And to make me useful?" Jonas looked at her glowing cuffs. "Well, I'm still going to set you free." Zara looked away. "You only have 2 wishes left. Use them for yourself." He smiled gently. "What if I don't care about myself?" She looked at him, confused. He stood and stepped back. "Zara," he said, "clearly, I wish you could feel again." Silence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the air snapped like thunder without sound. The sky turned purple. The bottle in Jonas's hand glowed bright blue. Zara's body rose slightly, her eyes wide with fear. "No," she gasped. "That's not allowed." A deep voice echoed from the sky. "Wish accepted. Emotional lock. Broken." Zara screamed. Light poured from her eyes and chest. She fell to the ground, shaking as memories flooded her mind. Laughter, pain, joy, love, loss. All of it came back. Centuries of feelings that had been locked away burst forward like a dam breaking. Jonas rushed to her. Zara was gasping, her arms shaking. Tears streamed down her glowing cheeks. "Zara," he said, "it's okay. You're okay." She looked at him, her voice trembling. I can feel the sun, I can smell the dust, I feel the ground under my feet, I'm scared." He knelt beside her. "You're alive. Not just functioning, living." Her fingers dug into the earth like it was the first time she'd ever touched anything real. "I feel small," she whispered. Jonas gave her a soft smile. "Good. That means you're human, where it matters." She looked up at him. "Why would you waste a wish on this?" "Because I don't think it's a waste," he said. "And now I know what my 3rd wish will be." She blinked through her tears. "What is it?" "I'm going to finish what I started," he said. Suddenly, the sky above them darkened. A distant ship moved through the clouds. Zara's eyes widened. They're coming. Who? The ones who built me, she whispered. The ones who left me behind. They tracked the wish. Jonas stood and pulled out his blaster. Let them come. Zara stood beside him, her glow now gentle, but strong. I feel fear, she said. He nodded. That means you're ready to fight for yourself. Zara looked at him. For the first time in 900 years, when she smiled. The ship above them was black and shaped like a blade. It hovered low, silent and deadly, casting a long shadow over the sand. Zara stepped closer to Jonas. Her glow was steady now, her hands trembling slightly, not from power, but from fear. They've come to reclaim me, she whispered, to reset me. Jonas kept his eyes on the ship, his blaster tight in his grip. Not happening. She shook her head. You don't understand. I was made by the Order of Light. They didn't just trap me in a bottle. They built me for it. Jonas looked at her. Tell me everything. They hid beneath a rocky ledge as the ship's scanner beams searched the ruins. Zara sat down, her voice soft, almost hollow. I wasn't born. I was designed, grown from starlight and code. Jonas listened, silent. They called me Project Luminara. I was their greatest creation, half organic, half energy, able to produce light that could power entire planets. She paused. But something went wrong. What? Jonas asked. I started asking questions, she said. About choice, about freedom, about feeling. She looked down at her glowing hands. So they punished me. They removed emotion from my mind, locked it in a vault inside my core, and sealed me in the bottle. My light became a weapon. I became property. Jonas's jaw clenched. Zara's voice shook. Every time a human opened the bottle, I had to serve. They never asked who I was. They only wanted what I could give. Wishes power destruction. And none of them tried to help? Jonas asked. She shook her head. Not until you. A soft beep echoed nearby. Jonas peeked over the rocks. They're sending drones. Zara stood slowly. They won't stop. They'll erase my feelings again and put me back in the bottle. Not while I'm breathing, Jonas said, but Zara grabbed his arm. They made me for war, Jonas. If I unleash my full power, I might hurt you too. He looked her in the eyes. Then we fight smart. Not with fire. With truth. Zara tilted her head. Truth. Jonas pulled out his old comm link and patched into the ship's open frequency. This is Jonas Ray, he said calmly. I've made 2 wishes. She's feeling now. She's free. If you try to take her, I'll use my final wish and destroy everything you care about. There was silence. Then, a voice crackled through the comms. Cold, robotic, unauthorized. Wish. Emotion activation violates protocol. Subject Luminara must be collected. Reset begins now. Suddenly, beams of white light rained down from the ship. Zara screamed. The beams weren't burning her, they were pulling her light from her body. She fell to her knees. Jonas, she cried. They're stealing my core. Jonas fired his blaster, hitting a drone mid-air, but more came. He ran to her and wrapped his arms around her. Hold on! Don't let go! She clenched her fists, glowing brighter. They're calling me back into the bottle. Jonas pulled the bottle from his bag. The silver casing had turned red-hot. It shook in his hands, trying to suck her back in. No, he yelled. You don't belong there. Zara looked at him. Her golden eyes flickered. They're using the prison failsafe. I can't stop it. Jonas stared at the bottle. Then he did something no one had ever done. He threw it. He hurled the bottle against the rocks with all his strength. The bottle hit the stone wall and cracked. A wave of blue light exploded outward. The drones froze. The ship above shook violently. Zara gasped. Her light returned to her chest, and for the first time since her creation, the bottle was broken. Zara stood slowly. The chains that had followed her for centuries flickered and vanished. The skies cleared. The ship above began to retreat, silent, defeated. Jonas looked at her, stunned. Did we win? Zara looked at her own hands, no cuffs, no shimmer of programming, just skin and light. She smiled. You didn't just set me free, Jonas. You broke the curse. He took a deep breath. Good. Because I still have one wish left. She turned toward him, eyes wide. You still want something? He nodded slowly. Yeah, but not yet. I want to wait until you know what you want too. Zara stepped closer, her hand brushing his. I think I want to find out. And so they walked away from the ruins. One human. One freed, light-born soul. No bottle. No commands. No chains. Only questions. And for the first time in her existence, Zara was finally allowed to ask them. Zara had never seen a marketplace before. Not like this one. Hundreds of aliens from different planets filled the spaceport bazaar. Stalls glowed with colorful lights. Strange music played from every corner. Machines floated through the air, carrying spices, tools, weapons, and things Zara couldn't even name. She held Jonas's hand tightly. Her feet hovered just above the ground, her glow dimmed under a heavy cloak. Her silver cuffs were gone, but her past still clung to her like a shadow. Jonas whispered, Stay close. If anyone asks, you're my assistant. She nodded. People are staring. You're beautiful, he said. They'll always stare. Zara lowered her head, unsure how to feel about the word beautiful. It was never something the Order of Light used. She was always useful, dangerous, and controlled. Now, she was something else. And someone had noticed. Across the market, a tall man with a scar across his cheek tapped his communicator. She's here, he said. The Lightborn, alive. The voice on the other end replied, Confirmed bounty, 1 million credits. Condition, don't damage the core. That night, Jonas and Zara stayed in a small inn at the edge of the city. Zara sat on the balcony watching stars drift across the sky. Her cloak was off, her glow returned, not wild but warm. Jonas brought her food. She didn't eat, but she liked to watch him enjoy it. I've been thinking, he said, between bites. About my last wish. She turned to him. You still haven't used it. I'm saving it, he replied. Maybe I'll never use it. She blinked. Is that allowed? Maybe I just want to keep you near forever, he said. Zara's light flickered gently. She didn't answer, but her smile said more than words. But their peace didn't last. A knock came at the door. Jonas opened it without a second thought. The man with the scar stood there. He smiled, then punched Jonas in the face. Zara screamed. Jonas hit the floor hard, blood on his lip. The bounty hunter stepped in, holding a chain made of light. Sorry, love, you're worth too much to leave walking free. Zara backed away, shaking. You can't take me. I'm not taking you, the man said, pulling out a small cube. I'm selling you. He pressed a button. The walls of the room disappeared into holograms. They were no longer in the inn. They were in a containment room aboard a ship. Zara gasped. You tricked us, Jonas groaned. It was a trap. The hunter grinned. Welcome to the collection, Starlight. They locked Zara in a power cage. She floated helplessly, her energy draining. Jonas was chained to a chair, arms bruised, breathing heavy. I'm sorry, he said. I let you walk into this. Zara's voice trembled. I shouldn't have trusted anyone. No, Jonas whispered. You should have trusted yourself. Hours passed. Then a new voice entered the room. Cold. Female. Zara froze. It was Dr. Vena, one of the last surviving members of the Order of Light. She wore white robes and carried a device glowing with Zara's own energy pattern. I thought you were dead, Zara whispered. Vena smiled cruelly. And I thought you were broken beyond repair. Yet here you are. Alive, glowing, and emotional. Disgusting. Jonas shouted, She's not yours. She is and always will be, Vena said calmly. But thank you for fixing her. Her power was useless until she felt something. Now, she's perfect, Zara whispered. You're going to drain me. Vena nodded. And sell your light across 10 systems. Jonas's fists clenched. Zara closed her eyes. Then, something changed. The power cage flickered. Her light rose slowly. Vena stepped back. What are you doing? Zara's voice rang, clear. You made me strong without emotions, but you forgot something. Her hands glowed. Love makes me stronger. The power cage shattered. Zara burst forward in a wave of golden light. Jonas broke his chains in the same moment. They fought. Together side by side, hunter down, Vena gone. Later, on a stolen escape pod, Zara leaned her head on Jonas's shoulder. I almost believed I was still a prisoner, she whispered. You're not, he said. Not anymore. She looked at him. Do you still want to use your last wish? Jonas smiled. Not yet. The escape pod drifted quietly through black space. Stars moved slowly outside the window, distant and cold. Inside, Jonas tried to rest, but his mind was full of worry. Zara sat near him, legs crossed, her hands glowing faintly in her lap. She stared at the walls like she was listening to something far away. Jonas finally asked, What are you hearing? She didn't answer right away. Then she said softly, My core is changing. Jonas sat up. What do you mean? She looked at him, her face calm but serious. Ever since you made that second wish when you unlocked my feelings, something inside me began to wake up. A part of me that even the Order didn't understand. Jonas frowned. Is it dangerous? Don't know yet, she whispered. But it's growing. She stood and walked to the window. Her reflection glowed faintly on the glass. She raised her hand, and for a moment, just a moment, a star sparkled in her palm. Jonas stared. What is that? Zara turned toward him. That's the truth. I wasn't just created using starlight. I am starlight. My heart holds a real piece of a dying sun, and now that I feel again, it's coming alive. He stepped closer. Can you control it? She shook her head. Not for long, the light wants to expand. If I don't find a way to hold it back, I might explode. The escape pod beeped. A signal came through. Jonas checked the screen. There's a moon nearby, abandoned science base. We can land and scan your core. Zara nodded. Before it's too late. The pod touched down on Nera 6, a dusty moon with purple skies and ice mountains. The old science base stood half frozen, but still working. Its doors opened with a long metallic groan. They walked inside. Machines powered up as they entered. Zara looked around. This place feels familiar. Jonas found a working scan chamber. Sit here, he said gently. She stepped in, and the Yagi machine began scanning her chest, her glowing core. The screen blinked red. Core levels 92% overload, imminent host integrity. Stable. For now. Jonas frowned. If it reaches 100%? Zara nodded. I'll become a star. I won't survive it. He paced the room, thinking. There has to be a way to stop it. Zara whispered. Maybe there isn't. Maybe. This was always my end. Jonas turned. No. I didn't fight bounty hunters, break bottles, and run across half the galaxy just to lose you now. She smiled sadly. Maybe that's your third wish. What? She stepped out of the scanner. Maybe you should wish for my light to fade, to stop growing. You'd save me. Even if I lose everything again. Jonas shook his head. I won't wish for you to be less. Zara looked down. Then I'll become too much. The walls began to hum. The base sensors picked up her rising energy. Her body glowed brighter now, like a star breaking through skin. Jonas ran to her. Zara, listen to me. What do you want? She was shaking. I want to live. I want to stay. With you. I want to feel everything and not hurt anyone. Then hold on, he said. Hold on to me, not your power, not your past, just me. She reached out. Their hands touched, and for a moment her glow dimmed, not from weakness but from balance. The scanner changed. Core stabilization. Detected. Host linked to external emotional anchor. Risk. Reduced. Zara looked at Jonas, shocked. You're anchoring me, he smiled. I always said I'd stay close. She laughed softly. You didn't mean as a stabilizer. I don't mind. They stayed at the base for the night. Zara slept for the first time in her life, her light flickering peacefully beside Jonas. He watched her. She wasn't a weapon anymore, not a tool, not a wish granter. She was real, and he still hadn't made his last wish. But deep in space, others had noticed her light. Old machines, old enemies, and someone who wanted her back. Not to use her, but to erase her. The calm didn't last. Zara woke to the sound of distant humming, deep and strange, like metal sighing in the sky. She sat up fast, light pulsing under her skin. Jonas stood near the window, watching the sky. Above near a 6, they found us, he said softly. Above them, a giant black ship blocked the stars. It had no markings, no signal. Just a glowing white circle at its center, like an eye watching everything. Zara stepped beside him. That's not a bounty hunter. No, Jonas replied. That's something worse. The ship spoke, not in words, but in commands. The base lights flickered, the doors locked shut. Every screen turned white and a message appeared. Luminara-class core detected. Energy level, prime, preparing collection. Zara gasped. They're not here to arrest me. They're here to steal me. Jonas reached for his blaster. They want your core. They'll pull it out like a battery, she whispered, shaking. I'll survive, but I won't be me anymore. Machines dropped from the sky, not soldiers, extractors, 6-legged bots with long arms and glowing claws. They cut through the roof like it was paper. Zara backed away, holding her chest. Her light flared without control. Jonas, she whispered. I can't hold it. He stepped in front of her, aiming his weapon. Stay behind me. One extractor lunged. Jonas fired, twice. Sparks flew. The machine fell, but more came. Zara's eyes glowed white now. She clutched her chest. They're pulling at the core, I can feel it tearing. You have to fight it, Jonas said. I can't, she cried. If I unleash it, I'll destroy this whole moon. Jonas dropped his weapon. He walked toward her, calm, slow, steady. Then I'll go with you. She blinked. What? If you burn, I burn with you. Her light flared. Why? Because you're not alone anymore. The extractors closed in. Zara screamed. Her glow exploded. So bright the machines paused. Sensors overloaded. Metal cracked. She was floating now, a glowing figure of light and flame. Jonas shielded his face. Zara, he called. I'm still here. Come back. But she couldn't hear him. She wasn't Zara anymore. She was the star inside her. Then he did the one thing no logic could explain. He held out his hand. Not to stop her. Not to pull her down. But to remind her. She was still human inside. And slowly, her light shrank. Zara lowered to the floor. Her feet touched the ground. Her glow dimmed, not from fear, but from choice. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. You stayed. Always, he whispered. The machines froze. The ship above stopped, humming. Something had changed. Zara wasn't reacting to their pull anymore. Her core was no longer wild, it was stable, connected, anchored. The screen blinked again. Error. Core has bonded with human. Extraction impossible. Shutting down. The extractors turned to dust. The black ship above faded into the clouds, escaping without a word. They didn't understand how. They only knew the light had chosen. Later that night, Zara and Jonas sat outside the ruined base, wrapped in a single thermal blanket. The stars returned to the sky. Zara looked up, then at him. You touched a sun and lived. Jonas smiled. No. I just reminded her she was never meant to be used. She leaned her head on his shoulder. My core doesn't want to explode anymore, she said. It just wants to shine. And it will, he whispered. As long as you want it to. She looked at him. Do you still have your last wish? He nodded. I do. Will you use it now? Jonas smiled. No, he said. I'm saving. It may be forever. Zara tilted her head. Why? He looked into her golden eyes. Because right now, everything I could wish for is already sitting beside me. The next morning, the sky above Nira 6 was clear. No ships, no threats, just peace. Jonas stepped outside the base with a hot drink in hand. The ground beneath his boots was quiet, and the ice mountains glowed faintly under the morning light. Behind him, Zara walked barefoot, her steps soft, her glow gentle, not the burning storm it once was, but the calm flame of someone who had survived. She looked more alive now than ever before, not just because she was glowing, but because she was finally free to choose. They spent the day rebuilding the communication array. Jonas was working on an old solar panel while Zara organized parts with a wave of her hand. No need for wires anymore. Her power flowed in small pulses, careful and focused. You're smiling, Jonas said. I think I like helping, she replied. You helped me first? No, Zara said softly. You helped me become real. He smiled. That sounds like something out of a story. It was, she said, until I met you. By evening, they stood on a cliff overlooking the stars. Zara wore a long coat Jonas had found for her, patched and old but warm. She held the broken remains of her silver bottle in one hand. What will you do with it? Jonas asked. She stared at it for a long moment. Then slowly she opened her palm and let it fall into the wind. It hit the rocks below and shattered. For good. No more bottles, she whispered. No more cages, Jonas added. She turned to him. I've been thinking, she said. You still have one wish left. He nodded. I do. Zara stepped closer. You could wish for anything. Health, power, a kingdom, even me. Jonas looked at her with steady eyes. I don't need to wish for you. She blinked. Why not? Because you already chose to stay. Zara smiled slowly, softly, the kind of smile that comes from knowing you're no longer alone. Still, she said playfully, I want to hear what your wish would have been. Jonas paused, then said, I would have wished for you to have a life of your own, and someone to live it with. She stared at him, glowing brighter by the second. And if I told you I want to live that life with you? He laughed. Then I guess I don't need that wish anymore. They stood under the stars hand in hand. No chains, no commands, no curses. Just a girl made from starlight, and the man who saw her as more than magic. Zara looked up. They called me a genie, a tool, a source of light. Jonas pulled her close. To me, you were the spark that lit my world. Her voice trembled. Do I still scare you? He shook his head. Not for a second. She leaned in, her forehead against his. I was created to serve, she whispered. Now I want to stay. And so she did. Zara, once a prisoner of the stars, no longer needed wishes. She had her heart, her freedom, her future, and a human who asked nothing of her, except to walk beside him. Every system in the galaxy still whispered about the light-born genie who vanished. But the truth, she didn't disappear. She stayed.